Pushing on something.
That was my finger. Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a little shop video. So today we're going to be upgrading this little output shaft that comes out the back of the comes out the transmission and hooks to the drive shaft on a KRX. We also got it with a billet carry bearing, all from full access ATV, or yeah, full access UTV. Sorry. So as y'all maybe have seen in the past, I blew the front diff in this, the locker out of it technically. When I bought the new diff, I upgraded the input shaft, the little stub that comes out the back of the diff that connects to the drive shaft. And they say the next thing that breaks on these KRXs after you upgrade that, this is the output shaft. And when this breaks, it runs right underneath your oil pan. And so when it breaks, it cracks your oil pan and could possibly crack the transmission case as well. So that's about $6,000. So to try to prevent that, we are upgrading with this. And hopefully we can just pull the front or the winch out and then pull the front diff forward and not have to fully remove the diff to change this out. So we'll see. Get a little slack in there so when you go to pull this winch out, it ain't holding you up.
That sucks.
Plate off of there. Now you can somehow, I gotta remember what bolts. Need a wrench. Barely get them.
Now I'm supposed to take the winch off.
Well, you got me to even do anything with a diff on these.
Winch is loose.
Winch is loose.
Wire's unhooked off the winch.
Trying to
Now he's trying to get it out.
wiggle it out. I think I may have to take the back plate off.
They have to take the back plate. I think we ran into that before.
This plate.
Yeah, I think we did that before. Sounds right.
And of course it's different size. Can't put one size for everything.
If you're gonna unhook your winch, you can see here Tanner's made a custom ground 10mm wrench so you can get in that tight spot. So
Sometimes the winch posts like to spin with the
yeah, sometimes they spin, so to get up in there you got to get the small one up there and then a regular one on the bottom. So you should get inside. They say put holes in the thing. If you would have done it first, it'd probably been easier.
It would have been.
Just remember that, people. If you would have done that first, it would have been easier. See that hole right there?
And the bumper's in the way.
And
my bumper might be a little bent in the way though. Put it on this way so you don't lose your shit.
Off the washer.
We'll find it when I get the winch.
Got it.
Oh, winch is moving.
Could hold it.
It's hard to hold the camera and you know work at the same time.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
There it goes.
And out.
There's that.
There's that. There's the diff. So we're hoping we can just slide it forward.
Yeah. Hoping we can just slide it forward with the drive shaft from the back and not have to pull all that out.
Is it got holes for the bolts or we? Oh yeah, it does.
Take 4 little diff bolts out. That's all that holds her in. That one wasn't very tight. Your diff is loose.
I might have been recording that whole time. So I got a light on it here. We got to take this bolt out right here on the drive shaft so we can slide all this forward. we didn't film the process because it takes two morons to take it apart, but you can see drive shaft's loose there. Took the bolt out, put a little penetrating oil in it, and got that loose. Was able to get a pry bar and pry that forward, but it's got to work in conjunction with the front diff. So what we ended up running into was you got to pull the front diff pretty far forward. Tanner was up here, I was in the back, but it ended up sliding off the front shaft too, so then we had to line all that back up. But it's back on the front now, and we're ready to change it out in the back.
Hopefully. Alright, we should be able to rotate this carry bearing around and should somehow be able to just kind of work her out, I think. Yeah, she's on there.
Let me see if I can get behind that carry bearing though. Oh, I'm pushing on something.
That was my finger. She's definitely come forward some.
Yeah, I can see the ear of the carry bearing. It's moving.
So in the last clip, I think y'all seen the us taking the bolt side of the carry bearing. Once you get that out, of course the carry bearing just rotates around. But on the back side, this part goes on the transmission. You have this dust shield that goes right here, and you cannot get this out, pull it straight out, because the dust shield hits the engine block. So from the passenger side, in between the motor and the transmission, you can have somebody with a long pry bar and rotate the whole shaft around and slowly pry this dust shield off, pull this out.
Yeah, so again, we didn't film it. Two people to get it all the way out.
Yeah. Did forget to mention before when we got this out, so it has this little piece on it. Well,
It's got a sleeve here.
It's got a little sleeve. What that's the dust shield goes on that we were talking about before. So right now we have it soaking in oil because it does have a few years of dirt and water and all that crap in it. So we're gonna beat this off after it soaks for a little bit. Then we're gonna try to put just this little sleeve and dust shield back on the drive shaft or transmission by itself before we stick the new shaft on.
So just want to do a side-by-side comparison here. Obviously the billet carry bearing is going to be a big upgrade. Double oil seals, new bearing inside of it, so that's great. But you can tell here between the size difference of how much stronger and beefier this shaft's going to be. So it's going to get a lot more strength and have less chance of breaking this, which, like Tanner was saying earlier in the video, this can break. Well, this is right underneath your transmission, so when it breaks, it takes a lot of stuff out with it when it does it. So this is the only thing that's kind of holding your drive shaft up.
Alright, going in with the new shafts. Kind of go in the same way you came out here. Maybe. Can't see the hole on the backside. Ah, there we go. And you just slide her in. She may need a little persuasion because it's got an O-ring on it for the seal in that little sleeve that we showed earlier. I may have to give a little tap with a hammer or something there in a second.
Let me go make sure the carry bearings. See, from this side you can kind of see a little bit as well.
Yeah, because we're at the, I can feel it, we're at the O-ring on the back, so we're probably going to have to.
You want this?
Yeah. Needs a little bit more.
I think it's still hitting the bracket. You got about the thickness of the bracket left. It's moving. Might actually be hitting the O-ring now because it's bouncing. Looks like it's bouncing. Alright. Let's see here. We pull this camera in here. So we didn't film all the way again. He's lining the bolt holes up now. We had to put a little bit of pressure on it and tap it in. It's got an O-ring on it, so still kind of a two-person thing at this moment.
Alright, so we have the drive shaft, it's kind of hard to see in here, hooked back up to the little output shaft that we just installed. We have not reinstalled this bolt. You can see Brett's putting it in now. So we got the nut put on that. So the way we just did that was the same way we took it off. So Brent was back here on the drive shaft on this yoke, lining up to the output shaft for the grooves on that. And I actually pushed a whole diff forward from the front, and so it pushed the whole drive shaft on as he was lining it up, and it kept it from coming off on the front, so it makes it a little easier so you're not fighting to put it on two spots at the same time.
Make sure they're all good and started. Back in.
Yep, torque spec on these about 3 to 4 Ugga-Duggas.
Yeah, we didn't read the rules on that one.
Alright, so that's the install. It's not exactly a how-to, but we just went and test drove it. 4-wheel drive works, everything's working. Like I said before, like I blew the diff and I upgraded it, and the little input shaft, this little stub shaft comes out the back of the diff that goes to the drive shaft. They say if you upgrade that, which I did, to a billet one, it sends the breaking point back to that output shaft that we just did. Some people say to leave that little input shaft on a diff stock. That way, that's your breaking point in the drive line on these KRXs. I've already upgraded that. And the only reason they say to leave that stock is because you don't have to pull the whole diff to change it out. You just have to turn it. You can pull the diff forward and turn it sideways, and you can get to the 4 bolts to change that out. But I already upgraded it. To me, if I'm already to the point of turning the diff sideways to get to those 4 bolts, I'm at the same point of pulling it out to get the drive shaft out. So to me, it's no difference. Take that for your, as your own opinion, what you want to do in that situation. But to me, so now my drive shaft should be my breaking point in the drive line, and that's no big deal to me. I can change that out in a couple of hours and we're good to go. So that's just my opinion on it. So thanks for watching. Brent, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and watch a video from a couple years ago, we went to Red River Motorcycle Trails. That's when he broke the front diff. We did a little bit of a part of a video of it getting swapped out. It was a complete diff swap, so we didn't really do any tech video to it because it was a complete swap. But I mean, saying that, like, the diff broke, it broke in a bind that something should have broke anyways. Yeah. But still, this is all stock driveline now, minus that new shaft and the built diff. We're talking about still 100% stock axles the way it came, stock drive shaft. So yeah, these things are still really strong. He's just trying to build it up piece by piece to where at some point it really is unbreakable.
Yeah, and that was that little shaft that we just replaced. That's a prevention from spending like $6,000 if it did break.
Yeah, so we don't want to put a motor and transmission and all that stuff in it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. We appreciate y'all's support.
She popping and dropping, she rockin' top, it's no stopping. Got me deep.